Alright, time to get started. Let's make some games. Hopefully everyone's having a good Thursday so far. We just got hit with a pretty good rainstorm. Lots of lightning. Don't think we got any damage though. There might have been a tornado warning down south for a little while. All fall storms. Yo, how's it going, bro? Yeah, we're good, man. Doing pretty well. Yeah, how are you all doing? The back end of the UK storms. I don't think that we get those here in the middle of the continent. I think we mostly get kind of a combination of warm, moist air from Mexico coming up, combined with some cooler air from the Colorado northwestern area kind of merging. I think the East Coast is getting that UK stuff though. Have you been getting rain there where you are? I like the rain too. I'm a fan. We just had a crazy year this year, especially in the spring and early summer, because the only rain we got was like torrential rain. There was no in between. It was no rain or too much rain. Yeah, camping in it's really nice. Raining for a week now, nice. No, I was on some Minecraft servers back, back in the day, and people were complaining. They were asking the admins to turn off the rain, and I was like, "Can we not? I mean, can we leave it on? Kind of chill, just turn the volume down maybe if you don't care too much for it." All right, let's see. Working on a little side project tonight. Rain with shaders. Oh yeah, definitely. All right, let's say actually I need to add a variable here. I'm working on it started off as just a response to somebody on YouTube. They said that they were trying to learn GDevelop, and the game they were trying to make is based on Tron. Did you ever watch the Tron movies? There's an old one from the 80s and a more recent one. Yeah, and so the game they're making is based on that, and it just got me thinking about the response to the answer, and I was like, well, it might be fun to actually just kind of make the game, hopefully help the individual out, but then also it just sounds fun. So that's what I'm doing. I'm making a little light. What do they call it? A light bike, light cycle. I think it's a light cycle. Yeah, bikes or discs. So that's what I'm doing, and it's not too bad so far. Let's see, I wanted to add a variable to this thingy. It's going to be a Boolean. I'll just call it dangerous. And I'll show you what I've got so far. just a basic, nothing too crazy. The light trail is kind of what they really wanted to figure out. So, and that's also what I'm kind of tweaking. And I set it up to pretty easily change the color too, which I'm pretty happy with. So all they have to do is, I'll probably put something in the game to tweak it, but all you got to do is swap out a couple global variables for RGB and everything will change. Probably a permanent trail, and that's what I'm about to change. But I was working with like the cyan color. So if I do 255, 235-ish, it looks pretty good. So if I just do that, it all changes. So I'll give them some options. Blaze, what's going on, dude? Welcome back, bro. I'm just making a little test game based on the movie Tron. It's kind of a light cycle bike racing kind of thing. Made the bike in Blender. Just three sprites for that. Kind of a left leaning and a right leaning. That'd be a good one to multiplayer, honestly. I think it'd be a great premise for multiplayer. Maybe maybe I can get the file over to you and you can work on you can port it to multiplayer while I do tower defense. Again, we've got the colors set up to go so you can have teams. Fusion Frenzy. I'm not sure if I played that one. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and whenever I need to close this. I was losing a little bit of bandwidth. I had a video running. All right, so we're going to start a timer for these things. It's a party mini game thing, but it has this game in it. Oh, nice. Yeah, so right now I'm basically creating a sprite object. It's basically pooping out a sprite object every time the bike travels a certain small distance so that they're close enough together where it appears to be a trail. And then, yeah, at the moment they have a time to live. Obviously I can remove that and they'll just remain permanently. It was glitchy but fun. I bet that was interesting. All right, so the moment it creates the trail thingy, so what we'll do here is if the variable dangerous is false, we're going to start a timer. And then Well, let me think. Actually, I just want to do that the moment it's created. So let me go back to over here. You think a painter would be better? You know, it could be. Because I was thinking collision. Can you do collision with a painter? Can you do effects? I think you can do effects on a painter too, right? It might be better for optimization. Let me finish what I'm doing here, and then we can explore that route as well. We'll give these things about a... Shouldn't take long, maybe like a half second. Maybe, let's try 3/4 of a second. We'll do 1 second, because there's something else I need to fix too. Then down here, we're simply going to say if I was thinking you can draw a line from the created chords to the bike points. A nice line without gaps. Yeah, let's check it out. What the heck? I thought I added the health behavior on. Yeah, for sure. Oh. I swear, I thought I did add a behavior on here, but I guess it might not have saved. Or maybe I didn't click on it. You like the idea of making the disc throwing game? Yeah, that sounds fun, for sure. Definitely. What have you been working on this week? I know I saw your split screen. You got that up and running pretty quickly, it looks like. Oh, you've been a little unwell. That sucks, dude. Hope you feel better soon. All right, let's see what happens. This might not work out the way I intend, but we'll find out. Oh, also, I guess I need to make these things... get rid of the time to live timer. In fact, let me just disable that. And get rid of the opacity tween. My computer's a little bit laggy tonight. I don't know what's going on. Which means it's dropping frames. Makes it look kind of sloppy. But... Alright, so let's double check here. So if the bike... I did a distance. And then apply damage. But that doesn't seem to be working. Yeah. I'd rather not use collision, but I wonder if that will... Wonder if that will trigger. Oh, this is the problem right here. So, okay. If it's false and the timer... No, that should be fine. Because it's going to be false by default. And the timer should be going. Which means it should reach greater than a second. Did I do bike and collision with bike? Oh, it's been a long day. All right, so I guess I need to like tell it to wait. Let me think. We could do like a little timer or something. For slow loading screens. Also, actually, there is something I want to fix, which is it's creating the trail before, like, when you're not even moving. So let me, that's really the problem. Let me fix that. All right, so right now it's set up like this. This is the core of the trail, the event that triggers the trail creation. And it's simply a recorded X and Y coordinate. Trail not in collision, toggle variable active to true. I think I know what you mean. So create a Boolean variable as each trail starts in collision. Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of what I did. I think that's what I did here. So I created an object variable on the trail, on each trail sprite, called dangerous. And I'm basically telling it to wait a second before it becomes dangerous. So if I set that to like 3 seconds. Let me see if I set that to like 3 seconds, if that gives me enough time to get going. It looks like it's not operating as intended. That being said, there is a bigger problem, which is that the bike is still creating the trail without moving. But yeah, this is just going. But I'd rather fix the bigger problem first, which is where'd it go? This one right here. So set a condition to check for upon bike collision. Oh, you know what? I'm not even using the variable. Once again, Corey's done it again. All right, let's check the object variable. And you would not believe how many times I've done that today too, just setting this up. It's like I know what I want to do, and then I don't call the function. Let's try this. Let's set it back to 2 seconds is safe. There we go. Boom. So, you know, we've got a foundation here. Definitely optimization is going to be the big thing. And but I can say this. So what I'm doing right now is those trail objects are simple little sprites. And what I had done at first was I just appended a light to each one. But then I thought, well, why not just make them glow? So I got rid of the lights and now they glow. I know that a whole bunch of objects with a whole bunch of effects, especially if they're not deleting themselves, can get pretty performance intensive. So that being said, we could look into the painter thing as well. A layer bloom. Yeah, is that I haven't really played around with that too much because it's usually not very I haven't desired it much. Let me check. So that would be on, it would have to be on the base layer, I think. So I see the advanced bloom. Is that the one we want? Probably not too much blur, maybe. Started off pretty small. Maybe lower quality. I have no idea what this looks like. I'm gonna find out. Let me go back to the trail marker, the effect, and I guess let me just disable it procedurally here. So all right, let's check it out. Oh, I'm getting, what the heck was, what was that? That is that my light? There's a light under my bike. What the heck? It must be. Does it not like light sources? Okay. And then it does look like I want to crank it up a bit. All right, let me move those to a disabled thing. Add it to the light layer too. Oh. Yeah, let me do this. Are you saying I might be able to keep the light? Let me try this. So I'll keep the events in here, but we'll see what happens. So let's go back here. Lighting layer. Add 2D effect. Advanced bloom. And I think I knocked this down to, I think it was a 1 and 5 as guesstimations, but yeah, it still doesn't like the light. But if I can make it look nice, we might not need it. So we might need more of this. Yeah, maybe not. I'd be fine with that if the bloom will take care of it. I mean, these obstacles are looking pretty good. Maybe there's just the bloom scale. What if we crank that up to a 2? What does that do? So that's 2, 5, 1, 5. Yeah, it's hard to get it to really look like it's doing anything on the trail itself. Everything else is looking pretty good. What is up with that? Yeah, it's creating those on the base layer. Livy Johnson, what's going on tonight? Yeah, the trail's on the base layer. Livy Johnson, you living it up. Appreciate the hearts. Let's see. She's drunk, ignore her. Riley Parker making an appearance. Riley Parker, how's your night going? Yes, I can see the hearts. They showed up. Sometimes I don't, but as Code can attest, I also don't see my own game that I'm making either, so it's a crapshoot. All right, let's crank everything up here, see what happens. Maybe more brightness, padding. I don't even know what kind of scale the padding uses here. And threshold. Do we lower the threshold? Let me just stick with what I changed. So it's 25255. That is so weird. It really looks like it's not doing anything on those. Which is unfortunate because those are exactly what I want it to apply to. I wonder if it only... Does it only impact things that already existed, maybe? Benny Boo. It's Code's new name. Benny Boo. I'm gonna let George know because he's all about those nicknames. Oh, look at that. Now it applied. Look at that, Code. It applied to these because they were already on the scene. Appreciate the hearts. I can see the hearts on my phone, but not on my computer monitor. Yeah, let's see. I mean, maybe... It's applying to the bike, because the bike already exists. I think it's applying. Either way, the bike looks fine, really. Is there a conflict if I do glow and the other thing? Let me check. I know there's a conflict with the light object, but what about with other effects? Just mess around and find out. Refresh the effect each time you create trails. Let's find out. It'll be a lot of refreshes, but I mean, I guess it's a lot of everything, isn't it? It could probably be separate from those, so this could just be... refresh the layer effects. Yeah, it is strange, isn't it? And I haven't messed with this, to be honest. So I'm having fun figuring it out. Yeah, enable layer effect. I mean, I could just manually toggle it, I suppose. Let's try this. Let me go back to disabling the object effects. And let's see what happens. And in fact, let me rename that effect. Just hold on a second. Oh, I'm going to need both of these layers. Lighting. So no yes and no yes. Unless it's just giving each object an effect on startup. That could be the case. It's one of those black box mysteries, isn't it? But we can reverse engineer it. Yeah, nope. The manual refresh doesn't seem to do it. I do like the layer effects, though. Yeah, it is pretty weird. Let's do a quick search here. Maybe so. All right, well, I guess in the interest of moving forward, I guess in the interest of moving forward, we have some creative choices available, but yeah, I mean, I guess that's basically it for this type of implementation. So we could do, let me go back to enabling it. And yeah, I know I could consolidate all this. I just haven't yet. In fact, there's so much. I think it's applying. That's thicker than before. I'm wondering if it is impacting the object effect. So if I actually disable the bloom, oops. Yeah, so that's weird too. It looks like it was impacting the object effects. So it was making even more bloom, like more glow. Because these are narrower. Which I think this is probably more appropriate. Because the idea is to kind of make it look like a pair of lights or whatever. I think in the show, I think in the movie, they're vertically stacked, but I can't really show that in a top-down, can I? Performance is the concern here, I think, but let's yeah, it's a single line. Which of course I did that at first, and then I looked at it again and I was thinking, well, how can I make this slightly, I have it pulled up here. The new one, I don't think the classic one, but the new one, it's kind of like a single line, but visually it's kind of two stacked. So that's kind of what I was going for. I could always just do one line for the performance. That would definitely cut. I mean, it's literally half of everything, isn't it? That's not a bad idea. Let's see. All I need to do then for that is make sure I've got the point on the bike object. Let's do just another point here. We'll do trail center. That's going to be 27, 17.5. And then I need another one here. I'm going to call it trail center. And that's going to be 30. Oops. The only effect on the trail is a glow. Try blur also. Trail creation. So what I'll do is take one of these and I'll just turn it into a center trail. All right, so there's that. And then we just need to angle them. Yeah, for sure. It's kind of refreshing. The good news is I did make progress on the tower defense game this week. So I think I've earned a little bit of side project time. I got the tower select panel on the right side working. But honestly, playing with some of these layer effects, I think, is going to be important for tower defense too. Because some of the, if I've got like a fire level or an ice level, it'll be good to have some of those effects if they're not too demanding. Oh, well, thanks for watching. Yeah, I just threw a surprise stream in there. I just happened to have the time and happened to have the energy. All right, let's see if I got this right. So center, center, center. I think that's it. And then, yeah, let's test this out. That should be it. There we go. We got a center one. And you're suggesting blur as well. And I experimented with a few different sprite things here too. There's like a dust object and a ball. I found that the line seemed to connect the best. You know, you could just do a dust trail, but it's whatever. If you do a dust trail, you wouldn't have to worry too much about making it look, I guess, as seamless, because then it's just it is what it is, but it won't look as movie accurate, I suppose. And then the circle, it's a little more gappy. There's the blur. It probably is a little bit better. Let's see. Could even increase it. You said the one night you were playing Wildlands and was fully engrossed. No worries, man. You know, I'm glad if you were able to be fully engrossed. It means you weren't stressing. Let me double check some of these parameters. I think I know exactly what they are, but I want to make sure that I know exactly what they are. So for padding, is that on here? It's not on here. Oops. Playing hardcore, and was that your 19 playing through the quests? Oh, hour 19 playing through the quests. That's some dedication right there. But that's really blurred. That looks like paint. I keep clicking into the object. I forget that there's a panel over here. I need to knock that off. I changed the padding here. I don't know exactly what padding does in this case. Let me experiment. Does it just add a distance between the object and the blur? Can't really tell. It's definitely more streaky. What if I drop that to a 3? I think you're right about it being smoother looking. My computer doesn't like it. And yeah, so there's that. It's like almost too much blur. I mean, I suppose it's not the worst thing in the world if there are gaps. The hand waves.
The Halloween wave. Okay, I'm fine.
All right. So I think that's that approach. The spidery hand waves back. All right, should we play around with a shape painter? Using blur with circles might be better. I need to put a button in here to just respawn. Let me do that. This is slowing me down. Issue is the game won't spawn each frame. I'm not sure I know what you're referring to. You'll get gaps. Yeah, exactly. I was trying to think, maybe like, because I'm doing it based on, it's supposed to just be based on distance traveled. Every time you travel a really small amount, just a few pixels. it's supposed to drop another sprite. The unintended behavior is that it seems to skip. So, you know, I was thinking even if there's a crappy frame rate, that maybe it would be consistent, but it's clearly not. So then I was thinking, is there like a time delta thing I could do? Oh, yeah, you literally just said it as I was asking. So let me add a thing here. That's my favorite button name. Transparent button with white yellow border. Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess you could just do snap 90-degree turning, huh? I went out of my name to I went out of my way to make it free turning because I used the top-down behavior, and it's basically limited to 8 directions: up, down, left, right, and diagonals. And I was thinking, well, I don't like that. I like the free motion. So I guess it's more of a variation on Tron. Okay. Scene. All right, we're back in business now, so we can play test to our heart's content. Except I need to put that on the UI layer. Yeah, it's definitely skipping. Super annoying. I mean, I get the feeling that even if I told it to drop a sprite every frame, I would get gaps. Like, look at that. It's kind of game breaking. All right, so Yeah, more objects seem to make it have gaps. Just go in a straight line and see how it does. I didn't tell the background to move, so it looks like nothing's happening. Still moving. It seems all right until I start turning. And then it does less well. Yeah, we could try a painter for sure. And I was trying to think of how to use time delta to help here. If we wanted to try that route. And to be honest, I haven't used it a whole lot, but I do need to. So, you know, if we could tell it to drop one every, you know, if the vehicle's moving, and then tell it to drop, you know, we'd have to fine tune it every 10th of a second or something. I'm gonna go and get rid of these other things on here. Don't need those. Don't do this, but my brain says to do it. Does I'm trying to remember. Can you do collision with painter objects? Yeah, you can. I mean, honestly, if we're doing that, You only need to create a point at every turn, which obviously on a lot of turning would be a lot of points, but it'd still be fewer than I'm currently creating. So we could definitely explore this. All right, so let's say we've got point A, and then I cut up and then create a point B. So we've got an ID. At any one point, you just need to connect 2 points. Oh, it creates a square hitbox from top left to bottom right. Let's see what we can do. Trail updates. Yeah, a lot of ideas here. I just wanted to do something at the beginning of the scene here real quick. So well, let me think. It's been a minute since I've done this, to be honest. We're gonna do, so on each trail created, have the painter draw from trail object to bike's point. And don't clear each frame. Yeah, I set it to not clear each frame. Yeah, we could do that. Could even hide the trail objects. Yeah, maybe so. I'm trying to think of the conditions. So if the I could use a Boolean on each trail object to just say if it's been connected or not. That might do the trick. Connected Boolean. Because again, you should only have one at a time, I think, that's not connected. Yeah, it's a lot of fun working on new mechanics. It gets you thinking. Fires up the old Gulliver. I guess, I don't know, it doesn't necessarily, I just wanted to test the very first one to see what the hitbox looks like. So, repeat for each instance. But, I don't know, it might be kind of weird actually to do this. If it's false, then we're going to draw a line from the trail marker could call this draw action in the creation event. Yeah, could do that. And the endpoint, I think we were saying, should be bike. I think it's going to be point X center. What do I call it? Trail? Let me double check on that point name. Trail underscore center. You're getting the bug, dude. You're getting the bug. I guess that game jam's coming up, isn't it? All right. And then we'll need to set that variable to true. I'm just wondering. I'm not sure how this is going to look. I don't think this is what it's not quite. Wait, why do I still have those? Get rid of those. Don't need those. Yeah, so let's go. I need something else here. So, because it's going to draw from trail marker center X, trail marker center Y, to bike point X, trail center, bike point Y, trail center, align. And change the variable connected of the trail marker set to true. And I think I told the painter don't clear between each frame. And then let's see, draw shapes relative to the object. I can't remember if that's what I need or not. Let me double check. Oh, nope, it's like way over there. There it is. It was like drawing way off on the side, but now I don't see it. So I think it's... What I'm wondering, and this is my concern, I think it's there, but especially on those turns. Oh, there's a line right there too. On the turns, it's really struggling because it's creating a lot. I feel like I should hide the trail marker itself for right now, so we can kind of see. Yeah, could add a slight delay. If you're going in a straight line, either let me think. Maybe not even connecting them to the bike. Maybe they need to just connect. Maybe I just need to connect the latest 2 points. But then again, yeah, exactly. It's the gaps on creation. So even if I can connect all the points, it'll still give us a not so smooth set of, especially the curves. I think straight lines will end up looking like straight lines. The curves will look more jagged, even though they might fill out. And I know it's not super complicated, but my logical brain right now is a little bit fuzzy. I'm just trying to think if I could reduce the number of these trail markers that it's dropping out to only be on turns, which is really just whenever you're pressing left or right. Fog of War could do it. I'd have to remember exactly how I've done that. Yeah, true. It would just be the one color, I think, because it's using light. Let me double check something there, though. So there's that, and then a tile map. I mean, those would definitely be like rectangular. Like, are you talking for the collision objects? I'm curious about this, though. I think I could change the color of these things. Sort of. I guess when you clear it, it's transparent. But if you do a painter over it, you get a color. Definitely a lot to explore there, but it would probably take me quite a bit of experimenting. What color did I have here? Black? Yeah, I guess so. Could put these in like an array. If there are two children in the array, draw a line between them. Then pop the first one and slide the other one to position 0. Then the next time there are two in there, do the same thing. Kind of weird the behavior it's doing. All right, so you think it's drawing instantly, maybe add a slight delay. Yeah, so but what do you think about this? I think that because the delay would give us more lineage, if you want to call it that. But maybe, let's say if you're just going and it might not be a one-for-one match based on the trail markers. So I'm wondering if we just need to try to connect the trail markers using the IDs. But again, I'm not sure. Let me see if I can just get something to work here. Can always hide the markers. Yeah, in fact, that's what I just did here as well. Or at least I changed the opacity. So So this is on trail creation. Change the opacity, and then on the trail updates, said that if the variable connected is false, to draw. I think what I need is a condition to check if there are two trail markers that are false, and then get their IDs and connect to those. Yeah, I'm like, again, I think I don't think it's that complicated. I think I'm just running out of steam here. But no, I mean, it's super fun. I'm trying to think of a good condition for the drawing. So let's try the delay. I mean, you mentioned a delay. Are you thinking like with a timer or just like an actual wait? Oops, not that. Oh, look at that. You're right. Look at that. That's hella smooth. Until you crash. And I really didn't think it was going to be that easy. I should have listened to you earlier. And I think because I did all that junk with the coloring, turn off the draw from position. Yeah, it's that there is off, if that's what you mean. And then what I was going to say was change. Yeah, it's just on death, so we can fix that as well. I was going to say there's an update here at the beginning of the scene. Trail painter. Color. And I'm going to set that to the global color. And then do the same for the outline color. Let's see if that works. There we go. So it's going to be a perfect match to whatever the bike is set to. Now let's get rid of that on death drawing. Can probably do an object variable there. Actually, cancel. We'll just check for the existence of the bike. Yeah, it could do the is dead check, but then the bike is deleted and that might give it issues too. Maybe both. If not dead. No. If the number of bikes living on the scene is one. And then, yeah, also... Well, dang. It just likes to draw those lines. Although it cuts through sometimes, which is odd. I guess because we're not doing any collision with the painter yet. It gets rid of everything. I'm not sure how that would be in a multiplayer game, unless it's just a, I mean, obviously in a 1v1, if you're doing a lot of people... I mean, I don't know why I'm thinking about scaling up the game like that at this point in time. If it's 1v1, obviously you just win the round. Or potion equals bike, then delete the bike. I like potions. Are you saying the position of the trail painter? If you toggle, yeah, the draw is on a 0.1 second delay. So if bike is not dead, wait, and then draw the line, and then call it connected. Yeah, you're right about the painter object collision box. That's a big old box. If the variable is false. Oh, you said connected true variable delay. So if the variable is false, then set to true before you do the sub event. Oh wait, did I change something over here? Oh yeah, that was dumb. Still pretty iffy on those turns. I mean, it looks really nice. Yeah, are we wanting to not delete the painter? Yeah, still getting those buggy draws. I wanted to check something out over here though. The painter definitely needs some effect here. I don't know how it's gonna look. Whoa, that was weird. I don't know, I didn't like that look. Yeah, stop the cycle, then delete after 0.15. There we go. Are you saying to... Yeah, it's a nice looking solid line, that's for sure. We got that down. You're saying to stop, I mean, to delete the cycle after 0.15? Yeah, we could try that for sure. Hey, I think we fixed the line drawing problem. Now, I think the last technical problem here is just those curves. Collision checks on the curve. It's looking hella solid though. All right, so again, what we're doing for the curves, we have, let's see. Obviously, it's going to be spotty. Show trails, see what's spawning. Yeah, we can show the trail markers again. I think it's just kind of buried under the painter object. Let me change that, the opacity there. Oh, it's because of all that blur. There we go. We can kind of see it. So yeah, you know, super spotty on those curves. That's kind of what we're looking at. And the logic behind that is here. This game is you ride around on a motorcycle thingy and it poops out a trail, kind of like the Snake game, and if you crash into that trail you die, or if it's multiplayer, if your opponent crashes into it they die, so you try to cut them off and make them crash into the line. Yeah, I mean, ideally it would be probably a pretty big board. Like there's no border, you can drive out forever at the moment. You're saying switch over to the line object? Yeah, you know, could always do longer sprites here. I think. Let me check the collision mask, but... Oh, those collision masks are messed up anyway. What the heck? In fact, let me disable the blur. And it just goes right through that stuff. Yeah, I know, Riley Parker, that's the bug we're trying to hunt down. We're good on the straight lines, and we're skipping through the circles, and that's the problem. That is the million-dollar question. It's not supposed to disappear. I had it set to where it can disappear, but it's supposed to stay on there, I think, so that it gets harder and harder until someone finally dies. Less time to activate. Let me check if I can do that. I think that because of frame rates and stuff, I couldn't get it to spawn any faster unless I just tell it literally every frame, which would be a lot. Let me see. I could have it disappear. I mean... Yeah, so if I go in here, here's the code to make it disappear. If we wanted to do something like that. But first, let's see if we can get the collisions to work. So it's time to activate. Right now it's set to... It's based on distance. I could try a 2-second delay. What's a 2-second delay? I think there was a 2-second delay on... the... Oh yeah, there is that, isn't there? Yeah, that's true. That could be part of it. Maybe that's it. So that brings, I think that's probably that problem code. I think you called it out. The remaining issue that I have Yeah, if not active and is not in collision. That's a good idea. In fact, that would solve the last problem too. So instead of a timer, there it fixes the self-destruct upon loading in without moving. Dang, we might actually have some progress here. Yeah, we might have to add Tron to the list. I showed her... We saw 5 minutes of 2001: A Space Odyssey, which is, I think, 20 years older than the first Tron, but that was rough. I watched that movie in college, and I didn't even remember how slow it really is. It's like a 25-minute first scene of watching humans dressed as apes evolving. Cool, let's put the effects back on, make it look neat. And I think for the sake of performance, let's just go ahead and get rid of all these left and rights. Enable effect glow on trail marker. I think yes, and then I think yes. Yeah, he's getting hung up on something. Oh, I lost internet connection. Come on, internet. Are we back in action? I know, the internet's bad. All right. I think the internet's... Oh, geez. Set up an FPS text to see the limit of trail. Yeah, let's do that. It's happening right now. Yeah, that's true.